Hello, friends, and welcome into Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. Here's what's coming up on today's show. Fansided cooked up 3 different trade ideas being a little bit loose there. Not all of them had actual packages or even trade values assigned, but 3 different players. So we'll go through each of them, look at the pros, and frankly, a little bit more heavy on the cons side of it. Before we get to that list, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Name a player who, if you ran the Bengals, if you were, I'll say Duke Tobin, who would you trade away if you were the Bengals? Go ahead and sound off for us in the comment section. Drop that player name or players if you have multiple that you would be open to moving on from this offseason. First up on the list was Chidobe Awuzie, which I found interesting, to say the least, since Awuzie right now is the Bengals' #1 outside corner. Maybe we can argue Mike Hilton's the best overall corner, but he plays nickel there. The Bengals did draft DJ Turner in round 2 out of Michigan. He offers inside-outside flexibility. I kind of think he might be best in the nickel. Maybe he's your long-term Hilton replacement, but both Hilton and Awuzie due for new deals in the near future. And Awuzie is in the final year of his deal. The Bengals would save $6.44 million if they dealt him away. And I know that Awuzie was banged up last year, but in the 8 games he played, it was pretty damn good. 38% completion against a small sample size. That is unbelievably good production right there. The yards were solid. I mean, you can just double them, right, for a 16-game season. You're allowing under 500 yards passing. That's really, really fantastic production there. No interceptions, 5 PBUs. He played really well in 2021, as well. And I don't think there's great depth right now in this cornerback room. There's Chidobe Awuzie. There's Cam Taylor-Britt. I'm excited about DJ Turner long-term. You have Mike Hilton. Would you trust Sidney Jones being outside corner number 3? Because I don't. I don't trust him in that area. So moving on from Awuzie, even if you really want to play DJ Turner, I think would substantially jeopardize your depth at a position where you want to have depth in the NFL. And look, I like DJ Turner. No, this is not anti-Turner conversation, but I'm continuously reminded of what Duke Tobin had said. I think it was on the Pat McAfee show about not moving on from players who might not be here next year because you want to win games right now. I think Awuzie certainly falls in that category. Now, what could you get back, right? Fansided said hefty return is what the Bengals could get back for Awuzie. They did not specify what hefty return means. Is that a first-round pick? Okay, can have that conversation. I doubt anyone's moving a first-round pick for Awuzie. If it's only like a third-round pick, which is still pretty good return overall for any player, I'm not doing that right now. That doesn't make sense for me. So I am not interested in moving Awuzie at this front, but I want to hear from you guys. What would you do with Chidobe Awuzie? K for keep, T for trade. This is today's pinned comment, so if the ad break comes here on the YouTube side of things, take advantage of it. Head down there, vote K for keep or T for trade. I'm keeping him, and it's not even that much of a debate for me. Why would I trade away, I think, my best starting corner? Sorry, Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, etc. Not even like them. That's how confident I feel in Awuzie. This only makes sense come trade deadline time if the Bengals are bad. If, for whatever reason, they're just a mess this year, which I don't see happening, then you could start to have, okay, maybe you do some fire sale stuff at the year's over, but I'm keeping him for this year. I don't see the benefit outside of like long-term health, like whatever. I'm trying to win games right now. Awuzie helps with that. If I trade him away, we're all like, wow, corner is maybe not the most confident group of positions for this Bengals team at this stage. Now, if you want more Bengals news, rumors, trades, preseason training camp, OTAs, once those actually get going fully in depth for the Bengals, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/BengalsTV for more free videos almost every single day. Next up on the list from Fansided is Zachary Carter, a third-round pick last year. Simply put, didn't make a major impact in Cincinnati. Money-wise, savings-wise, here he's got 3 years left on his deal, but you'd only save about $1 million if you were to trade Zachary Carter before the deadline at training camp, whenever the theory goes of moving on from him. The impact from Carter in year one was minimal. 23 tackles, TFL, a sack, pass breakup. Not a ton of pressures either. But I still lean towards, I don't want to trade him right now. And my mindset is you want to have depth up front, right? That's important. Love DJ Reader. I've long liked BJ Hill dating back to his Giants days. Then it's Zachary Carter and Josh Tupou and Jay Tufele and Davis Maxwell. And I don't think you have the depth to be like, yes, let's bail quickly on this third-round pick at defensive tackle. I get, other guys at edge can kick inside as needed, someone kind of like Cam Sample, but I think the Bengals want Carter to be their number 3 defensive tackle this year. And if he's not their number 3, I don't love that grouping overall. So I think it's too early for a minimal return and not enough depth to justify moving on from Zach Carter. Even if we're disappointed by first year, I get all that. I'm not trading him right now. You've got edge depth, in large part because you drafted Myles Murphy in the first round this year out of Clemson. If you've not yet bought his jersey, go get it today so it arrives in time for the preseason, right? Chatsports.com/Myles Murphy takes you right into the jersey site on Fanatics. Go get yours today. I know it says 1. It's just the placeholder number since, these weren't all set up by the time or once Fanatics finished available. But the one you buy will be the right number. Chatsports.com/Myles Murphy. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. La'el Collins next up here. And this one, from a could you make it work roster-wise, does make a little bit more sense. Now, there are some big issues here. Most notably, despite actually having depth on the O-line for the first time in a while, Collins is coming off a significant knee injury back in Week 16. It was revealed around April, I believe. April 20th, 16th, something like that. That he suffered not 1, not 2, but 3 tears in different ligaments. That's kind of a big deal. Money saved-wise, he's got 2 years left on his deal, which saved $7.72 million. I might have given the wrong number yesterday. $7.72. That's a lot to be saved. We're going to go more in depth here on La'el Collins, but a challenge for you. If you had to, can't just type in none, no coward's way out here. If you had to pick one of these dudes to trade, who would it be? CA for Chidobe Awuzie, ZC for Zachary Carter, or LC for La'el Collins? Sound off in the comment section. I obviously don't think Collins is bad or anything. I think he's a solid football player. Up and down last year, the sacks were a bit high. It's part of the play style of Burrow, which I view as a positive thing in the end. I'll take the big splashy plays, the out-of-structure stuff for the occasional sack. Not a huge deal to me in the end. But the injuries are a big red flag. For the first time in a long time, I can say this confidently, Bengals have options on the offensive line. Starting 5, Orlando Brown, Cordell Volson, who might get some competition. We'll see. Ted Karras, Alex Kappa. Then there's Jonah Williams, Collins, Cody Ford, Akeem Adeniji, Max Sharping, Jackson Carman, Dante Smith, Trey Hill. That's a lot of offensive linemen relative to how normal NFL teams are staring down their depth, in late May, early June before training camp. Now, what could you get for him? Well, that's my issue. Fansided said a day 2 pick is what you could get for La'el Collins. And I'm here to tell you, no, you can't. There's no way an NFL team is going to trade for La'el Collins at his contract coming off of a massive knee injury in which he might not be ready for Week 1. Even if you do it come, Week 6, Week 7 trade deadline time, that's not what you're going to get. Because remember, the Fansided article itself was like, Collins was elite in 2021. He wasn't as good in 2022. And nobody traded for him in this past offseason when the Cowboys ended up cutting him. So the argument of, well, he's not as good now, so you should trade him, but you'll get something back this time, a significant draft chip, mind you, doesn't hold water for me. If you're moving on from Collins, it's probably because of injury concerns. And in that scenario, you're not going to get anybody of note. You're not going to get a massive trade chip back. So I don't think the trade for Collins makes sense. But of the 3 guys discussed, I think he's the one that moving on from might make the most sense at this stage.